Hi there. Lately, everybody is talking about Japan's national debt to GDP ratio, since it has been extremely high for a while now. It is a worrying problem, and many people ask for a solution. Humanity has always been obsessed with predicting the future, and what better way to do that than to analyze economic indicators, such as Japan's debt to GDP ratio. So let's talk about Japan, the land of the rising sun, and the land of recession. You see, Japan's debt to GDP ratio is currently hovering around 257%. To put this in perspective, imagine that you owe $257,000 for every $100,000 you earn. That's been happening to Japan since the US made it a part of Plaza Accord. To make matters worse, the interest rates in Japan are higher than they were during the 2008 financial crisis. It's like jumping out of the frying pan into the fire, or as we say in Yi-Jing, jumping into the flames. You might think that all this doom and gloom would send the people of Japan into a panic, but no, they are as calm as a Zen garden on a sunny day. They have been through recessions before, and they know how to get through this one. A hexagram in the Book of Changes shows that a person is forced to make a difficult choice in a dangerous or precarious situation. But what does it mean to jump out of the frying pan into the fire, and how to deal with the situation? It is important to fully understand that this saying has its roots in ancient Chinese culture. In traditional Chinese cooking, a pan is used to fry food, and a fire is used to heat it. The thought of jumping to a hotter and more dangerous place expresses the idea that the situation is getting worse by trying to escape it. This is a common trap that many people fall into. In the context of the Book of Changes, jumping into the fire represents a person in a situation when they are faced with two equally unpleasant choices. It is a dilemma. Both choices are fraught with danger, and there is no clear way out. The hexagram is a warning, telling you that the best course of action is to stay put and get through it, instead of trying to run away and possibly make things worse. This situation is familiar to many, because we all face tough choices at some point in our lives, whether it's choosing between two jobs, deciding whether to end a relationship, or facing a complex moral dilemma. We are often faced with situations where neither option seems ideal. However, by understanding the lessons of the hexagrams, we can handle these situations with greater clarity and confidence. So what can we learn from the proverb, out of the frying pan into the fire? It must be acknowledged that life is full of risks and uncertainties, and there are no guarantees in this world. Sometimes, we must make difficult choices that can have negative consequences. Yet we must also recognize that we have the power to choose how we respond to these situations. One of the main lessons of the hexagram is the importance of staying calm in the face of adversity. When we are faced with difficult choices, it is easy to panic and make impulsive decisions, but this often leads to more problems. Instead, we should take a step back and consider all our options. Another important lesson of the hexagram is the value of patience. When we are in a difficult situation, it is natural to want to get out as quickly as possible. However, sometimes the best course of action is to bide your time and wait, since things might get better on their own. This doesn't mean that we should leave it all to fate, but we should think strategically about how to achieve our goals in the long run. Finally, the Li Gua symbolizes endowment, which is conducive to sticking to the right way, so that you could prosper. The hexagram image of Li Gua is said to be Li Hua, according to the image of the four directions. Li Hua shows as the appearance of light, rising one after another. Continuously shining light must be high in the sky, so the great figure who symbolizes abundance should emulate this phenomenon, and should also continuously illuminate the four directions with the sun-like light, to remind us that life is full of challenges. We must be ready to face it with courage and tenacity. By remaining calm, patient, and strategic in facing them, we can deal with even the most difficult situations, and emerge stronger and more resilient on the other side. All in all, the hexagram is a powerful symbol of human energy. It reminds us that we inevitably face difficult choices and challenges in life, but we have the ability to choose how we respond to them. By remaining calm, patient, and strategic, we can weather the fiercest storms and emerge victorious. So the next time you're faced with a tough decision or a challenging situation, remember the lesson of hexagram. Be calm, patient, and consider all your options carefully. The most important thing is to trust your own willpower and ability to overcome adversity. The Chinese Book of Changes encourages you to find balance in your life. Strive to live in harmony with the natural world by developing a deep awareness of the forces that shape our lives. Understand that we can navigate even the most treacherous waters with ease. When we find ourselves jumping out of a frying pan into a fire, we can rest assured that we have the tools and wisdom to get through it. Some Japanese citizens have already come up with creative solutions. For example, a man started a business of renting out parking spaces in his driveway to tourists. Another woman opened a coffee shop in her living room, and an entrepreneur started selling country air to stressed city dwellers from Japan. But enough about the Japanese economy, let's talk about something more interesting, like the Book of Changes. It has been translated into over 30 languages. Can you imagine a dusty old book from ancient China being popular all over the world, just like Harry Potter? But let's get back to Japan again. You're probably wondering how Japan got into this mess in the first place. It's a long story, but I'll give you a short version. Back in the 80s, the Japanese economy was booming, and the world envied their luxury cars, electronics, and sushi. But then, in the early 90s, their real estate bubble burst, and prices plummeted. The banks gave a lot of bad loans to stimulate the economy. The Japanese government started spending massively to build bridges, highways, and even an artificial island in Tokyo Bay. But all this spending came at a price. The government had to borrow a lot of money to pay for it, and pretty soon they ended up with a big debt. So what is the lesson here? For starters, don't spend more than you have, which is just a common sense, especially if you're in charge of a whole country. And don't get too obsessed with the pursuit of economic growth at all costs. Remember that life is more important than money. On that note, I'll make a joke about why economists cross the street to get to the other side of the demand curve. Did you get it? Well, you can't win everyone. All in all, Japan's debt to GDP ratio is no joke, and it's a serious issue that needs to be thought through and acted on. However, it's important to keep a sense of humor about things, even in times of adversity. As the Book of Changes says, I've seen empires and economies rise and fall, people come and go, but through it all, I've learned that the only constant is change. So let's all learn from Japan's economic struggles and try to achieve balance in our lives. Be mindful of your spending, focus on what's really important, and always remember to laugh in the face of uncertainty, because laughter can help us weather life's storms. Thank you all for your support. If you find the above analysis and explanation helpful, please subscribe and click the little bell button so that I could continue providing high-quality content. Thank you for watching, and may your future be full of luck and prosperity.